Wife Material is on Don Richie TV. Do well to watch. Let's talk about a recap of this movie here. It talks about a woman who does not accept the wife or the fiance of her son because she claimed that the state the woman is coming from, they are disrespectful and they do not make good wife material. So she rejected the lady and brought in her own woman who she believed would be the perfect match for her son, only for that woman to show her shaggy, show the husband shaggy, show everybody shaggy. And that was how she learned her lesson the hard way. So yeah, that is pretty much what this movie is about, wife material. Let's get into the cast. Let's first start with Mike Ezuruonye. Now here, Mike was very interesting character. I think I enjoyed his character more here compared to one review I did like that. Here, he was very educative. He was very outspoken. I love when he was mixing the well-spoken English with the Igbo accent. That was something that I really, really like about his character. And I love how he was always put together. He appeared really educated, and his character was actually convincing. And that was something I like. I love how he was also very strong-headed when his wife turned against him and his mom. I love how he was trying to put out his emotion and how he was angry with the mother for making him make a very terrible decision. I enjoyed his character. I also love his costume here. His costume looks like a very young, vibrant man. It wasn't a very dull. I mean, he's working. We see him going to work in and out all the time, and he dressed casual. It seems he owns the company that he works for, and he wasn't. I don't think I saw him in suit once in this movie, which is pretty very different from the usual. I'm going to work. They're always in suit and shirt. Here he dressed down, which also appeared really put together, and that is something I like about him as a character in general. Mike was actually very interesting to me in this movie, something that I really, really like a lot. Then we talk about the character Stella. Oh my goodness. Immediately the first fiance left and the second woman came in, I knew this woman was pretending. I just knew, because I mean, if you're a fan of YouTube storylines, you will definitely predate movies like this. The only difference between this storyline and the others are that this one is the same tribe, like the same Igbo, but they also have their own division in there. So this highlighted how Igbos also have their own division in the same tribe. The normal one that we know is Igbo, Yoruba fighting, or other tribes fighting all the time, which always land in the same storyline. So it's pretty the same, but the difference is just that this one concentrates on the same tribe but different states. So Stella's character, you could just be, you could just predict it. But I hate how they immediately switch the character, or they immediately made her switch her character. Immediately they came back from the marriage ceremony. That was really, really, really surprising. I'm like, whoa. Immediately, there was no time to even waste at all. There was no water to even pass under the bridge for the characters to just switch. And that was surprising. And that was something that I don't think the switching was interesting for me. I wanted it to be subtle and then it'll pick off rather than just pick off like that. Nah, that was like jack off immediately. That was not it. It was cool, but I wanted it to be a progressive character, not just jump off like that. The switch was just like you're on light and off in. Like, nah, that was not something that I was appreciating in terms of the car. But I like how Stella showed the mother-in-law and the husband shaggy. I love how she look. I mean, Stella is a very good actress as well. So seeing how she did that, I love it. I really, really love it. At a point, her character was actually convincing. I was like, whoa, because I knew from the beginning when you watch the movie, you realize that this mother was very wicked to the first fiance. So she has actually met him. She has actually met her match, and that was interesting. Stella did a very amazing job here. I love her character so much. I love how she, kind of display her wicked side. I didn't know that I could, you know, appreciate her character. And one thing about this movie is that he proudly Igbo, and all of them were speaking Igbo, maybe except Jennifer's character, but I'll get into that in a bit. All of them were speaking Igbo, the only, which is really good, which is really, really good, but the downside of that is that there was no subtitle. I mean, this is it is a streaming platform, so I would have loved if they put subtitle for people who want to enjoy the movie but are not Igbos. So please, next time you need to put subtitle for actors or characters who are speaking other dialect aside English, which is, I mean, that's what other, countries who do not speak English, they do. So I would have appreciated that a lot. But that aside, I love how the infusion of Igbo, I think it's beginning to be a trend for the past 2 weeks now. A lot of producers are adding a lot of Igbo characters or a lot of Igbo actors in their storylines, which is really good. I love it so much. If you are, that from that part of Nigeria, you should be proud that Igbo speaking storylines are picking up in recent times. So I think I love that. The only thing is they have to put subtitle for people who do not speak such language to understand and follow what some of the actors are saying in the Igbo language. So Stella did an amazing job. The only issue I had with her is her wardrobe. Yes, her wardrobe, when she switched up her character to be very wicked, she was dressing very good and very sexy, but that was, nah, I didn't like her wardrobe, but her acting character was perfect for me. I think I like that. Then lastly, let's talk about Jennifer Obodo. Now, Jennifer, first now to say is that she was very soft, educated. She's an Igbo girl, but she wasn't speaking Igbo, and that was something I'm like, hold up, you want to impress your mother-in-law, she's speaking Igbo with you, you told her you're from, Igbo land, and speaking Igbo, you're good, homely wise, you're doing everything, but you're not speaking the language. And that was something she was complaining of. And when your mother-in-law speaks the Igbo, you reply with English, which obviously means you understand, but why are you not speaking English? Indirectly, typical African home, that is also disrespectful anyway. It's like I'm speaking my dialect and you're responding with English. I mean, obviously that's an insult. Anywho, I'm just saying that, like, outside reality wise, that is, the mother-in-law was right in that sense. But notwithstanding, Jennifer's character was supposed to be the good wife or the good woman, very well spoken, calmly, and she did that. But another thing I didn't like about her character was how she left the house and how she came back into the house. The outside shot of the man begging her and she coming back. I'm like, that was quick. Lastly, another thing that about this movie that I think was so boring was the beginning. The beginning of the movie, when the mother-in-law came, that beginning took about 15 minutes to 20 minutes of the movie. I'm like, what? So they used one day to shoot almost one quarter of the movie. Do you understand how interesting YouTube movies are. I'm like, oh God, my goodness, because the woman was in one outfit throughout. So, oh God, but I'm like, why? So God, that was like one take. They spent almost 20 minutes doing one should I say one quarter of the movie already. Oh my goodness. And this movie is 2 hours plus. Gosh. Anywho, but it's a very interesting movie. I like it. Standard YouTube movie, which is obviously is a good one right there. Rating it, I'm going to give this movie a 3/10. Wife material, yeah, do what to watch. You are actually going to find it very interesting if you love a YouTube standard movie. This is basically what it is. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all in the next video.